Hey, Willsey, it's Data. Here to show you how to go about your math homework. So let's take a look at number one. You did that correctly. You found the right column. Now it's kind of confusing the way they worded the question. When they say products, I think they just meant numbers. Um, but there are some of the shaded numbers in each row. So for example, in the second row, you have 4 and 8, and of course that adds up to 12. That's great. Or for the fifth row, you have 10 and 20. That's up to 30. So you found the shaded numbers in each row, and you saw what they added up to, and you picked the right column that provided those answers. Or, for example, 18 and 36 adds up to 54. Or 16 and 32 adds up to 48. So great job there, Rosie. Now, for number two, show 3 examples of pattern that relates to shaded columns. Now, I know it's a little tricky, but if you look at the example, that will really help you out. So, for example, you have 3 times 6 plus 1 times 6. 18 plus 6 gets you 24. So let's take a look at the third row. The third row, 6 and 12 got us 18, right? Well, if we think about it, 3 times 2 gets you 6. Or 3 times 4 gets you 12. So what you want to do is you want to show this. Just like they had up above here. In that example, we had 3 plus 1 times 6. So what you want to show is you want to show, well, 2 plus 4 times 3. Forgot the time symbol. 3 plus 4 times 3 equals 18. And if someone called the distributive property, you want to distribute 3, so you want to hand 3 over both 2 and 4. So the 3 joins both the 2 and the 4, because 3 is outside. It's kind of like, yeah, I'm outside. I want to help out the 2 and the 4. So the 3 comes inside and helps out the 2 and the 4. So you have 2 times 3 plus 4 times 3, which of course, 2 times 3 is 6. 6 plus 12. And that adds up to 18. So that's one example of how you can show that pattern. Let's try again for another row. Let's look at row 5. You have 5 and 2, that gets you 10. 5 and 4 gets you 20. So if you add up the 2 and 4 again, 2 plus 4 times 5. So you have like this 2 and the 4, they're like inside a house. The 5 ones come in and say hello to both the 2 and the 4. So the 2 greets the 5, and the 4 also greets the 5. What's 2 times 5? 10. What's 4 times 5? 20. 10 plus 20 is 30. And you see 30 in that shaded column. And I'll show you one more example. But if we look at the sixth row, 6 and 2 is 12. 6 and 4 is 24. So if you add those two numbers up, 2 plus 4 times 6, so you're proving why this makes sense. So the 6 says hello to the 2 and says hello to the 4. It's being distributed inside the 2 times 6 plus 4 times 6, 12 plus 24, and you get 36. So I'll explain this to you when I talk to you on the phone tomorrow morning. Now, explain why this pattern is true. That's because you're distributing. Actually, I'll tap this up. Much easier if I tap it up. You're distributing the number in the left column, each number in the top row that is shaded. So what's meant by that is you're taking the number in the left column, say the 4 here, and you're distributing it each number in the top row that is shaded. So the 2 is part of the shaded column, and the 4 is part of the shaded column. So we add 2 plus 4, and you distribute the 4 to both of those. You get 8 plus 16, which of course you see right there, and adds up to 24. So you're learning something called the distributive property, which is explained at it. So you're creating these extra groups of 4, 2 groups of 4 and 4 groups of 4, gets me 6 groups of 4, which is 24. That's why the pattern is true, because you're distributing this number to both of those numbers. Then find a similar pattern using a different product, shade the columns. So what if, for example, we decided to look at the first and third columns? And let's take a look at 4 again. So 4 times 1 is 4. 4 times 3 is 12. And notice that 4 plus 12 adds up to 16. You can actually get a highlighter here and go purple. Probably not the best color. Let's try maybe light green. There we go. So yeah, 4 plus 12 is 16. So that's a similar pattern. And the reason why that works is because if you have 1 plus 3 and 4 on the outside, you shift the 4 to both the 1 and the 3. So 4 times 1 plus 3 times 4, or 4 times 3, you have 4 plus 12, which of course is 16. And this pattern will keep working. Like, what if I did 6 with 1, I get 6. 6 with 3, I get 18. 6 plus 18 is 24. So you could totally, if I shade this here, you could totally take this row, sorry, that column, and you'll get this column here. So again, if I were to do 5 with 1, I get 5. 5 with 3, I get 15. 5 plus 15, I get 20. So explain how to choose which to shade. Well, didn't 2 plus 4 add to 6? 1 plus 3 adds up to 4. Or 1 and 4 adds up to 5. So if I take the 7th row, 7 times 1 is 7. 7 times 4 is 28. 7 plus 28 is 35. So I explain which one to shade. It will be the sum of the numbers in the top row for the 2 columns you are combining or adding. Okay, I'll also work this out on paper and send it to Mama, and I'll call the house tomorrow morning when I'm in my classroom. All right, love you, buddy. Love everyone else at home, and I will talk to you soon. All right, bye.